What's going on, YouTube? Hope you're having a beautiful day. We're rocking just the stash. No more pubes down here. So we knew there was a problem going on with the clutch or something. That was in a different video. When I went to go start the car and put it in gear, didn't go anywhere, then put it in first, let the clutch out, didn't stall the car. Big red flag there. My first reaction, I don't really know much about clutches or anything, was that, you know, maybe the clutch and flywheel are just completely toasted because it's been in there for who knows how long. I've had the car for 2 years. Previous owner was an older guy, and I definitely don't think he ever put a new clutch in it while he had it. That was my first response. I talked to a lot of different guys, probably like 10 different mechanics, and got 10 different answers on what was wrong with it. Craziest one I heard, this guy, he said just right off the bat, he was like, nope, your transmission is completely done. It's toasted. And I was like, hold up. That doesn't make sense. You know, these got the CD09 Junior in here. Not exactly the CD09, but pretty close to it. It's a good transmission. I baby the crap out of this car. I think maybe seen past 5K once, if that. I shift it 3K like every time. This is my baby. I drive it like a 9-year-old. I'm gonna treat her with respect like she deserves. Other things I heard was that oil had leaked from the back, which I do have. I need to replace the valve covers soon. Leaked in there, messing up everything. I don't think that's it. The leak isn't that bad, and plus I don't see any leaking from under the car. I'm gonna get it on the jacks here in a second, and then I'll be able to actually look a little more in depth on that one, because I'm not gonna rule that out yet. The other one I heard that, the one that makes the most sense is someone said that just the pressure plate and whatnot, when it loses the friction, and then it's just basically free spinning. Like I said, I have no experience with clutches on anything of this, so I have no clue what's going on. Yeah, I heard a couple other ones. The master cylinder, slave cylinder, those could be shot. I feel like that would kind of be something to make sense, but you know, since I already ordered the clutch, I already planned on doing this, plus it needs it anyways probably, so either way, I'm gonna end up dropping this transmission. We're gonna get a look at it. We'll actually see what's going on. You guys are going to kind of ride along with this process of me not knowing what the heck I'm doing. And that's okay, because this is a little bit more realistic. You know, you go watch those tutorials on YouTube, and the dudes know exactly what they're doing. They have all the tools to do it, and everything. Here, we got no 2-post lift. We got 4 jack stands, a jack, tranny jack. I actually picked that up. I would get one of those if you're going to do that. That's the cheap one. I've heard it kind of sucks, but, you know, we're going to make the best of it. Kind of on a budget here. We're just going to do this, you know? Nothing special with fancy tools or anything. I also picked up this little tray right here, and it was on sale, so I figured why not. It was like 20 bucks, and I just have laid out a couple of the tools that I know I'm gonna need for this process. There's gonna be a whole lot more, and this is probably gonna be an absolute disaster by the end of this, but I don't know how much today I'll actually get into doing. I gotta go to work here in a couple hours. Actually, so I was doing some studying, and I made this list. This is a bit of a kind of in order / like trying to fully understand everything. I'm going to be kind of going off of this a little bit. You know, you got the obvious after the car is on jacks because you want that thing up there. Drain the transmission fluid. The MT85 GL4 is what I'm going to put back into it. You know, you got to unbolt part of the exhaust, most likely from where test pipes and the Y pipe area, just to get that out of the way. Disconnect all the plugs from the tranny and get the wiring harness out of there. We all know that. This is kind of just a note for myself. Mark L on O2 sensor. So on the left one, I'm going to put a little L on it just so that way when I put it back in, I know. The slave cylinder, it's got 2 12mm bolts, and then it's going to be located kind of driver's side of the tranny or somewhere over there. And then I made this little diagram too. It's got where, if you were looking at it just like in front of you, you got the starter bolts. There's one 10mm bolt here, and then I believe these were 14s. I'll double check on that. And then yeah, it just kind of goes down the list from taking off the drive shaft, disconnecting the linkage, and that's going to be inside the car and whatnot. And then this I actually saw in a video. I don't know exactly what he's talking about, but I put it right here. Something about there is a cover, I think it's on like the transfer case or something. You're gonna pull that off, and I think it's a 10mm bolt. Like I said, I'll check on most of this once we get actually going. Take the brace. You don't need to actually take it off. I think you just need to loosen it so it drops down a little bit. Drop that baby out to the last one. And I started kind of going on here about, you know, you're gonna clean out the tranny with some brake cleaner. Note, don't breathe it in. Bad chemicals for you. There's the retaining clip in the transmission for the bearing to come out. I want to say with the new setup that I ordered, it comes with a new one of those, so I don't think I'm going to need to go get like a press or have someone press it out to replace it. I have no clue. Doesn't look like the clutch and flywheel stuff is going to show up for another probably a week. It's coming from Georgia, and so I love Z1 because they ship stuff out super fast, but they shipped it out already, and it says it's going to have delays because of the hurricane stuff going on over there. Kind of wanting to get that as soon as possible, so that way, you know, but then again, makes it kind of nice so that way I'm not really in a rush doing this right now. The only rush is that I don't want that turd just sitting there taking up room. You know, we got a beautiful Chevelle in here that wants to see daylight, obviously. But once I do get the tranny out, everything cleaned up, we can push the car back and forth and whatnot. I just need to get the tranny out pretty much. So I'm gonna kind of follow this step by step. Try and get as best angles as I can, or show you guys any tips, tricks, whatever, if there's something maybe a different video didn't explain better. Like I said, in no way, shape, or form am I certified to do this. Absolutely not. Do I know what I'm doing? Absolutely not. But am I gonna learn? Abso-freaking-lutely. So it's gonna be a great time. Gonna make the best out of it. Situation sucks because I just got the wheels on and dialed in, but you know, it is what it is. Things happen. So we're gonna get right into this. I'm not gonna show jacking the car up and whatnot. That's you know how to do. Also, another thing kind of exciting is I did order all 4 new Swift springs. So I'm going to be running, I think they were 32K in the front and 28K in the rear. So that'll be a definite upgrade from the 12K in the rear that I'm running and the 20K in the front. Should be nice. And actually, finally, I ordered springs that are actually long enough. So that way I'll actually be able to kind of adjust my ride height, which is crazy, I know. Because my front right now, I can't adjust that anywhere. I mean, it's almost tucking and I can't do anything about it just because it's a shorter spring. And like I showed in a different video, that the upper control arm video actually, is that once the car compresses onto the ground, that's when the spring is actually sitting. So now with longer springs, it should actually be compressed in the air, which will be a beautiful thing. Because then if I do have to raise this thing to get it on a tow truck or whatever, if I need to raise it to get it to the shop, whatever it is, I'll be able to actually do that. It's crazy, I know. I'm excited. That's like the dumbest thing I've ever said, is being excited to raise the car. But anyhow, I'm kind of dragging on. We're gonna get right into this and then I'll see you when we're under the car. Alright, so we got the car up, got it up pretty high. Probably throw the jack under there too, just for a little extra safety. I went ahead, I took this wheel off just to get a little bit more room, so that way I can kind of crawl under here a little bit better, some more room for activities. So first I'm gonna drain the transmission fluid. I'll show you how to do that. I'm just gonna use a 3/8 ratchet and then crawl under here and take a yonder out it. Here is the drain plug right here. You don't ever want to do the drain plug first, because let's say if you crack that open, you drain everything, but you can't get the opener one out. Yeah, it's on the passenger side, right up here. So right there, you want to always open that one first, because like I said, if you drain it and then you can't get that open, you got a big problem, because then you're gonna have no fluid at all. I'm using this 3/8 little like socket Allen key type of thing. Put it right up there, smack it on this bad girl real quick. Beep. Make sure you put her on loose, just like that. I'm just gonna crack it open. Oh, that's on there. She probably has been on there for quite a while too, so we'll see if I can get a little more leverage. No, okay, so what I'm gonna do is, I'm probably just really weak, but I'm gonna grab the jack handle and I'm gonna slip the jack handle on this and then just boop, pull it right down. The best way to do this would probably be if you had an actual breaker bar, which I do, but I don't know if I have the adapters from the big boy to the 3/8. Yeah, so I don't think I have that. I'm just gonna use good old jack handle, throw that up right there. Maybe if I can get it in there. I think someone stuffed garbage in my handle. That's where we put the McDonald's wrappers, you know? So up there, make sure it's on there pretty good. Just gonna give it a little ooga, ooga. Just like that. There was some garbage in that side of the handle. So that's cracked loose. I'm not gonna take it out. I'm just gonna leave it loose, just because that way now we know that that will come off. And then here is that plug right here. We'll see if we can get this one off a little bit easier. No, she wants to be just as difficult too, so do the same thing. Probably should have got one of those little rolling lay-on things, because crawling all over the ground is not the most ideal, but it is what it is. And just like that, boom. Personally, I cannot stand the smell of transmission fluid. I don't know what it is. It just hits the back of my throat and it smells like absolute barf. So I should put on gloves. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna take this off. I'm just gonna basically twirl her down until she starts flowing out. Might get a little messy here, but nothing some good old cleanup won't take care of. And then, oh yeah. She's shooting. Look at that nice stream right there. It actually looks pretty good too, so that's a good sign. I don't even know when the last time the fluid was changed, so it's probably good that we're doing this whole thing. I'm gonna let that flow out right there, and then we're gonna hop right into the next step. So I drained everything out of the transmission. I put that on, tightened it back up, but I left the fill plug a little bit loose since I am gonna have to be filling it. I'm gonna disconnect the exhaust now from the test pipes to the Y pipe right here. I don't know, because videos I've seen, people have OEM cats here. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to leave these. I know I'll have to probably disconnect here, probably take that brace off and whatnot. I'm gonna try and just do as less as possible and see what I can get away with. So these are gonna be 14s right here on each side, and then I'm gonna disconnect from back yonder, and those are gonna be some 17 boys up there. That's on tight. Transmission fluid, if you just get a little bit on your hand, it is so just a gross feeling. It actually doesn't smell as bad on this one as it did on the Driftsy, but it's just not pleasant. Some of these angles are really tricky to get to in a way. That moment when you just tightened it back on. LOL. The gasket could be replaced, doesn't look the worst I've seen. I really should go get one of those chair roller things because I have to like backwards army crawl to get over there to the other side. But I'm gonna try and keep everything organized, so I'm gonna be just kind of connecting it. Actually, what I'll do is I'll run it through the gasket. It's probably one of the bigger projects I've done on a car, so I'm gonna try my best to just do it right the first time, keep everything together, keep it all organized, so that way we got happy parents too, you know, because I'm in their driveway, just chilling with the car, blocking some stuff, do this as best as we can. That one's not too bad either. Back to over here. These are, I think that the nut itself is a 14. I think the actual bolt itself is gonna be a 17. There shouldn't be two on there. I just had this off a week ago. You'd think, you know, since I just did this not long ago, I would have learned the first time, but I should have left those loose so that way I could break these loose a lot easier. Because now, when you wrench on it, it's just wanting to move around. Oh, that one's already loose. That's good, I guess. Didn't even touch that one, but hey, you know, things happen. Okay, well, I guess when I put this on last time, maybe I didn't tighten those ones down too good. We're gonna see, this is a really awkward angled one. See if we can get this up there. Oh yeah, there we go. Definitely doable with taking those all the way out first, but I'd advise not to. This other one is on a weird, well, it's not weird, it's just on the other side, but weird for me because I gotta crawl over here, get a decent angle. Could you imagine owning a 2-post lift? That'd be crazy. Whoa, she came off real fast. A lot of stuff falling in the eyeball. I recommend you wear some clear safety goggles or something. But regardless, there she is. She came right down. Just gonna set these in a tray. Then we're gonna hop on to the next step after we pull this out. We're just gonna yeet. Okay, that's out. So what's next is we're gonna start disconnecting some stuff from the transmission. What kind of stuff, you may ask? Well, that's a great question. I see that the wiring harness, it's just like random stuff keeps falling in the eyeball. Looks like the wiring harness on the transmission kind of runs all over the place. So for in reference, here's that fill bolt up here. You can be kind of looking to the right. You can see you got up here, a clip there, 2 of those clips here, clip there. And they really clip this thing up. We'll just unplug right here from the O2 sensors. Like I said, or I could just make a note that green is left, blue is right. Makes it kind of easy. Yeah, it looks like it goes all the way up there with clips. Not sure if you can see too well. Let me try and zoom in. There's that clip way up yonder. I don't know if we're gonna get lighting. Well, no, not at all. It's up there though. You'll see it. It looks just like all of these ones. I don't know the best way to approach those. I don't want to break them. I want to be a little fragile. I think I'll probably just take a flathead and start kind of going to town on all of those until we can get this wiring harness. But it looks like it's on just the right side pretty much. It runs up a little bit through here. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's another clip. I'll have to get a flashlight and check. I'm gonna kind of get it over to the right side and then we will dangle it over here. So with that note, we'll start trying to clip away. Might need to get a longer flathead. I just want to make sure that I'm getting good leverage to clip this out without breaking it. I don't know how fragile they are, you know, they've only been in here for 17 years probably, so I'll be a little gentle with them, but try and just kind of wiggle it out. It's been a little bit of a bugger. Okay, there she goes. So there's one of many to go. I'm gonna move around to over on these ones up here. It looks like there's 1, 2, 3 just on the back side of the transmission. These ones will want to come out easier. That was the thumb. Love it. pain is temporary. It's weakness leaving the body. I think that's what like the Marines or something say. And again, they eat crayons. Let's not play games right now. Maybe if I go to the back side of it. No, that just doesn't feel right. Might have broke this one, not gonna lie. I feel like I can kind of see it snapped in there. Regardless, it's coming out. If I have to, I'll zip tie it back in or something with a different mechanism, but I want you out. This should not be the hard part of this job. I don't know if I'm just kind of dumb, but these things are not wanting to come out at all. I kind of want to investigate what kind of clip this actually is. Looks like it's one of the like kind of prong ones, which I don't know if I broke this one too, but it might actually be easier to grab some needle noses and then clamp it on the backside and then push it through. I have a feeling just using a flathead might just break all of them because it's just forcing it right out. Got my safety glasses now. Tired of getting crap in my eye. Look like a doofus, but at least a doofus with not stuff in his eye. I got one out really easy by just using these. Now, angle-wise, don't know how easy it's gonna be to get some of them, but I got that one out pretty easy. This, I don't even know what the heck this is. Some sort of like, I think it's bushing. I don't really know, but that's kind of in the way for the middle one. I'm gonna have to use a flathead for that, but I'll try and get this one up by just shoving the needle noses up there and just seeing if I can get some leverage to pull it out. And shout out to Nissan for not wanting these to come out, I guess. Almost got it. Definitely broke that one. That's okay. It's out. That's all that I want right now. I'm not too worried about when this goes back up in there. If I have to, always throw a zip tie around this. I just gotta make sure yeah, there we go. Get out the broken piece. Maybe I'll try and pinch this together and then grab a little bit longer of a flathead, try and get some more leverage back there. See if we can pry it out a little bit better. Not really, but I'm meshing just to get this out. Okay, so I got it out just a little bit. Might be a little bit better now to get these in right here. Squeeze and pull, like I said, it's okay. There we go. Don't think I actually broke that one, so that's cool. So we got that part of it. Oh, are you kidding me? There's one up here too. Just so you can see a little bit better if you're doing this. There's another one back here. So you have 3 right here, 1 right here, and the one I got out here. It looks like there's some more up there. They're all over the place. They did not want this thing going anywhere. And actually, I'll probably just try and get all these that I can without recording. If I find any sneaky ones or hidden ones, I'll definitely show you guys because I want to make sure you know where all these are for the sake of trying to just break them out real quick. Alright, so as far as the clips, almost all of them are out except the one hardest one that I've came across so far. So there was the big one right here. That one was a booger and a half right there. I ended up just breaking that because I was not going to deal with that. But also, way up here, the same thing. You can see the zip tie. That is such a pain to try and reach anything up there. I might just try and reach something and just break off the zip tie because that one is, I ain't gonna deal with that. There was this sensor up here. I'm not sure exactly what that is, but I just unplugged it. As far as O2 sensors, those are pretty easy to do. I just unplugged this one. First thing you're gonna think is that you should click it like right here. That just pulls this off of this little brace, which is pretty nifty to hold them. It's actually, there's that little tab though. You just kind of push it in with a flathead and then you gotta kind of fight with it. And then you'll get that off. And then you track it back here, and then there's another sensor right here. I think that's the crankshaft sensor. I'm not 100% sure, but it does look like it. Because there's the 10mm bolt on it too, and just pop that out. And then, oh, I just found there's another clip back here. I mean, as you just kind of run along, you'll be able to tell where the clips are. It looks like there is up here the starter that'll have to come out. You just kind of follow along with the harness, and as you go through it, you start to realize, oh, there's a lot of those plastic clips. I'm not going to show too much of that. That's kind of, you just do it on your own. I'll probably show how to find a way to break that one up there, so if you're going through the same problem, because that thing is annoying. Also, safety glasses have came in 10 out of 10. Get them glasses on, they'll save you. Okay, so still under here doing the clips and whatnot. I got both the O2 sensors out, disconnected the camshaft sensor, that random sensor I already showed you, and then what I found out for that, and I took the brace off right here. Big one, very noticeable. It's just a couple bolts. The hard ones up here, which are all connected to this little brace thing. I don't know why I didn't think of this, but you can just disconnect. Oh, there was a rock right under my back. I am definitely, tomorrow, mark my word, I'm going to buy one of those rolling things because it's killing the back. But there's just these 2 10mm bolts up here. You can just disconnect those and then this whole bracket is right off. I should have done that to begin with because I was struggling to try and break these clips out. As you can see, it broke this one. It's kind of a dumb moment, but hey, you know what? I learned, and now you guys know that if you're doing this, you just disconnect that off. So I'm gonna pull that off, and then I want to say start pulling the drive shaft out. We're gonna get this off, and then we'll get right into doing some of those other things. Ran into a slight problem. I got all the wiring harness down for the most part. I went ahead and I pulled the slave cylinder out. That one's super easy. It's just those two 12mm bolts on the side. Pop those out, it drops right off. So the last clip or sensor, I don't really know what it is, on the wiring harness. You know, you see everything's hanging down. It's all chilling. It's having a good time. And you got this one dude. He goes back there. He's an absolute bully. We don't like him. If you reach back, you can feel it, but it's super hard to unclip that. All the videos I just looked up, they make it look so easy, you know? They're like, oh, I've got my 2-post lift up in the air. You just reach something back there and pop it out. Well, Squidward, I'm here on the ground and I can't see freaking crap. I could see the wires. I guarantee you're not gonna be able to see it on the camera. There's the wires, it's up there. I went and got the longest, skinniest flathead I have, and I'm trying to do what the dude said in the video. He's like, oh, you just reach it back there and pop it right out. Well, buddy, it's not working. I'm reaching in there, I can kind of feel the sensor, and I'm pulling. I just don't want to rip the wires or anything, because then that's a whole nother problem I don't want to deal with. My only tip for this one is a little bit of patience. I am gonna just probably not record though while I struggle to try and get that one off, but I know it is possible. Just gonna have to try and get it. That's the only thing standing in our way of that until we get the drive shaft off. I did notice, I came down here, I was twisting the drive shaft, and let's see if you can hear it on the camera. I don't know if that's normal. I can hear it like in the transmission. It sounds like almost like something's unaligned right there, which would almost make sense if something's not grabbing for the clutch. Honestly, I really don't know. I'm no mechanic. I'm gonna keep struggling to get this on. I'll check in when we get that out. We'll see how we're looking on time and what we can get next. All right, so I can confirm this one's making me want to Baja blast my brains out. Found a little flashlight, and I can get a better view of it now. I see a little bit of blue on like the back casing where the black plastic clip connects to all the way. Currently trying to wedge the flathead into there and pry it out. Every time I seem to do that, I get a good grip and it slips and just knuckle punches right into the tranny, which feels absolutely delicious. It is not easy to get this one out. I don't know if there's an easy way or you need absolutely baby hands, which I don't even have big hands, but I cannot fit back there. I'm gonna try and shine the light so I can try and show you a little bit better. So it's in between. Let's see. Oh, you can kind of see the wires right there. That red and yellow. You basically kind of got to use a feeling for right where the wires are. Goes back right there, and that's where the clip is. So it is definitely not in any way, shape, or form easy to get to. I've been out here for a couple hours now, maybe. It's been just a journey just to get all the clips off and whatnot. The YouTube video I watched made it look really easy, but I am here to give you the realistic video and tell you that it is not that easy to get all these things out. I'm sure once we get those out though, that's when you can actually start taking all the 14mm bolts around that you see around the actual transmission. All those boys that go around transmission, those are all gonna be the 14s. So then we'll start disconnecting those, and then I'll pull this drive shaft out. That'll actually get us on a little bit better of a program and on a roll. Tomorrow will be the day that we drop the tranny, and then we'll get to look in there. We got it at the cost of, that's pretty good little knuckle punch, you know. Slipped, but it got it. So basically, here's the culprit. This little piece of freaking poo-poo. Okay, right there. You see that little blue? That is the plug right there where it connects onto. And this is all the room that you got. Get your hand up in there and fit the flathead right in between there. It is out, indeed. We got the wiring harness now. We'll feed this through there. And then you freaking suck. I don't like that one. As you can see too, I was digging at it from the side, so I don't think I was ever getting that good of a leverage behind it to be able to pop it out. It seems like once it gave out, it gave pretty easy to come out. So if you're doing this, I would just try your best to dig that flathead under this lip part, because you could kind of see the blue when it was in there. But the only hard part was it was a mixture between the flathead being too long to get a good angle and not being long enough to reach through there. Good couple knuckle punches right to here, but you know, it was doable. Like I said, not impossible, but I ain't gonna be that dude on YouTube that cuts out the hard stuff and then pops it out and says, oh yeah, that was easy, you know. No, you get to see the struggle, so we struggling together out here. But with that being out now, I need to keep checking my notes because I keep forgetting which order I'm going in. It's probably not that important which order I am going in. I'll pull the drive shaft out probably right now. I'm gonna throw some little like cloth things down on the ground just in case if there's anything in here. We did her. We got one step done now, finally. Yeah. Alright, so moving over onto the drive shaft now, which I'll show you. The 4 bolts are gonna disconnect. They're 17s right here. Here's the problem, but the thing where it gets really annoying is when you're doing this by yourself. The car's in neutral, this is obviously gonna spin, right? So if you try and break it loose, it's gonna just rotate around. You can try wedging like a wrench or something, then breaking it if you want, but to save a little bit more time, it would be easier if you had another person here. You could just tell them to put it in neutral, spin it, get it to where you need it to line up, break it loose, do the same thing. But when you're doing it by yourself, you have to break it. You could try and see if you could fit it on this one. It's a little hard. You kind of have to have like this right angle. This one, it should be able to fit. But yeah, you basically got to break them loose, then go put the car in neutral, come down here, spin it, put the car in gear, and it just gets very tedious. I'm not going to show me breaking all these loose because I'm going to be getting up and running over to put the car in neutral to come down here and spin it. I already loosened this one since I was right here, but yeah, you're just going to take those out, make sure you don't lose them, set them to the side somewhere, and then basically once those are gone, you're just going to pull the drive shaft back and then be very careful with it. You don't want to damage this. Pull it out, bring it down. Depending on how much room I can get once I get it out, I need to lose this brace right here. When I took this out on the other Z, I never had this brace or like any of this stuff down here, so we might drop this just to get it out of the way. If I do, it looks like it's 12mm bolts on both sides of it, so I just won't show that though, just to save some time in the video too, because it's probably going to be a little bit of a lengthy one, and I want to make it quick to the point as I can. Oh yeah, we got the skateboard now. Not super convenient, but whipped out the old Plan B. So with not a lot of room in here, keep kind of feeling it break loose, but it's very little at a time. There we go. Patience is going to be quite a bit of the key in this one. We got it. So now I need to roll out and then put it in neutral, spin this, and then we got just two more. Twist this bad girl right about yonder. Now we go put her in gear. The wifey showed up with some food. Excited. Hungry. Let's see if we can get this one real quick.